Friday night. That's pizza night at our house. We're gonna start a fire. We're going to cook sourdough pizza on it, and you're going to have your minds blown by how good this is when you make it yourself.
It is the coolest thing we do.
It is the coolest thing we do. It's Thursday, and if we want pizza tomorrow, we start today with a starter.
Because you fed it yesterday.
Yeah, so we fed this thing, it's bubbled, it's happy. You might need to take this for a better close-up. Oh, she's pretty. Hasn't even reached the lid yet, so you know it's like optimal. So when you make this, you wanna have a bubbly starter, and if you don't have a starter, we don't have one available for you from us. But there are lots of places to get starters online, or the better option is grab one from a friend. Sourdough is not as scary as it sounds. Just be prepared to have a learning curve. So this is something we've tried and true. Bo has completely perfected this recipe and
expanded it.
Yes, that's right. We've done doubled. We've added a fourth pizza to this recipe. Yep. So we've played with this a lot.
Everything is down below in the description based on whether you want 3 full 14, 15-inch pizzas, or if you want what we do, 4. We have a big family. I never line up all the ingredients like this.
No, this is very pro.
This is for efficiency of the video. This is the second time we've done this. Pretty much the only one that I'm gonna tell you, because I just now looked at it. It's 653 grams of water. Now we're gonna do 131 grams of starter.
You're gonna feel so confused when it gets to the flour because he's not gonna tell you how much.
I'm not gonna tell you because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I feel like we've made a sourdough pizza video before.
It was a long time ago when we did a sourdough pizza video.
We're a lot better now.
Yes. And it was just the cast iron. So we first started doing this
so long ago.
Only in the cast iron. And it was kind of a different recipe.
Skillet. We like a crispy crust.
Was it 131?
131.
Okay. So basically with sourdough, pretty much all sourdough, you want to put the water in first, and then you want to make sure that the starter floats. If it floats, it's good.
Raise your hand if you never test to see if the starter floats.
How do you not? You don't, well, you, really?
You just, I put it in the water because I know that that's the easiest way to mix it. Ahead of water, then add the starter. I never test if it floats. But I think it's because my sourdough and I are friends. We're very close. We hang out a lot and we play together at least twice a week. So I know when she's in a really good mood because she's bubbly, she's light and airy. And then I know when she's hungover because she's hoochie on top and she's just not here for a good time. So that's when we dump it out and Bo will be real serious.
You just said hoochie on top.
That's what everyone calls it. But you dump it out, feed the starter, and boom, happy again. Bo is gonna be real precise about that too, and he's only gonna have a certain amount of starter, then he's gonna feed it equal parts flour and water, and I pretty much eyeball it. So the good thing for you is that you can see, you don't have to be exactly precise every single part of the way. Hey.
For the rest of it, I don't remember the grams, the weight. We're gonna do, the next one is our measurement down in the description. The pizza flour. This is, how do you say this?
I call it Caputo, the Tipo 00, but that could be really the wrong, I think it's Caputo, but I don't know if it's Tipo or Typo.
I just always call it the Tipo 00, pizza flour. In my opinion, pizza flour versus regular all-purpose flour, it's going to help you with that
stretchy, glutinous texture you want.
If you're gluten-free, I don't know if that makes it better or worse, but whenever you're making the pizza, you don't want it to break when you're putting...
Like a cracker or a cake.
Yeah, you want it to hold together so it doesn't break on that super hot stove. So that's why we use this. I'll even put descriptions down below. We buy all of our flour on Amazon, and so it's super easy.
We do.
We're gonna put that in here. And yes, we are using just the stand mixer. I used to do this by hand to mix this up. It was called the rhubarb something method. I think I got it from Joshua Wiseman. This is kind of based off of his recipe, but I've changed it to fit what we like. It's a weirder thing, and I don't have time for that.
How can mixing dough be weird?
The rhubarb thing. You get your hand in it and it's super bizarre. Next up is gonna be the rye flour. This is an organic rye flour. I can't find this pizza flour organic. So now I'm gonna put the rye flour in. We're gonna wait a little bit on the salt. We're gonna mix this up and then add the salt.
Magic happens.
Yeah. These 4 pizzas are a little big for our mixer, so I have to like hold this up manually, otherwise the dough comes and...
It's like it gets stuck on the hook.
Yeah.
The machine's not meant to be like...
That's what I do.
Pumping.
The hoochie pumping?
You didn't have to force it.
All mixed in. Then we're gonna do the auto lease and we're gonna wait for 20 minutes before we add the salt. All right, so it's been 20 minutes. The dough is all incorporated. Now we're gonna add our salt. Yes, this is in a whiskey glass.
Sorry, did you just apologize to the internet for us not having the right dish to mix in our salt?
It's just funny. I don't want to break the glass though.
It does look pretty precarious.
So Kelly just dumps it all in.
Yep.
And I like to spread it out a little bit just to make sure. It probably doesn't do anything because that's what the mixer does. I guess there's some OCD in me.
I'm telling you, you make fantastic pizza. I can't even make fun of you because it just turns out so good.
So we have done all of our Tipo 00 flour. We did our starter, we did our water, we did the rye. Why do we like the rye? Like adds like this nutty flavor.
I do. I feel like it's got more, you know, like if you eat just a white bread.
Yeah.
It tastes like bread, but it just has white bread flavor. This has like a robust, I don't know how to describe it. It just hits more taste buds in your mouth.
Then what we're gonna do, instead of the crazy rhubarb method and get kind of crazy, we wanna be able to get the gluten structure.
Get a little crazy with your dough.
You just really wanna work it, man. You wanna make it super stretchy. It's so that it doesn't break up.
When you go to stretch it.
When you go, yeah.
Yeah.
The worst thing is whenever you're making homemade pizza and it breaks in the middle. All right, the dough is mixed.
It's like when you make this, because usually you're the one who does this, are you like, I'm so excited about pizza?
Then what I do is I clean up the edges, get it wet. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a stretch and fold every 30 minutes. Timing doesn't have to be perfect, but you'll do a stretch and fold every 30 minutes.
After you finish that 4th stretch and fold, we put olive oil in the bowl, kind of coat the bowl, drop your dough right back in and a little bit more on top, and then you're gonna cover it, set it in the fridge overnight. Dough bake! Make that dough bake!
It is Friday afternoon and it is time to start shaping the dough for the pizzas. What I'm gonna do is have some olive oil ready, just trying to keep the dough from breaking. So just gonna start working it out. Typically what I like to do is to bring the dough out of the fridge somewhere between like 2 to 4 hours before it's time to start shaping it. You want it to double in size, ferment, to get bubbly and good, but you don't want it to stay out too long where it puffs up and then lets all the air out. This is the recipe. We're doing 4 pizzas. If you're doing 3 pizzas, then you just want to divide it into thirds. So you're just gonna take this big guy and I kind of like start scoring it a little bit so I can see if all of this looks the right size. I'm like, yep. You have like an oily top side. You want that to be on the bottom. So you take the dough, you flip it over, And then you just start working it a little bit. You just want to be able to get it so that there's a nice little ball, because then they'll puff up a little bit more before you roll it out. And you're just kind of letting that dough loosen up, stretch out, and get flexible. Kelly's done this before, and she's just taken them like this and just made a ball out of them. She doesn't do exactly what I do, but this is how I learned how to do it, and so this is how I do it. I fold the top to the middle, bottom to the middle, just like that. Then I just start pinching it together, roll in a little ball. Then this part can take a little bit of practice. You're getting under it, you're squeezing it, you're trying to tuck that bottom under to make a nice little ball. So then you do that for the rest of your pizza pies. All right, now what we're gonna do, this is just what I've learned over doing this for several years, is I'm going to oil the top of these little balls so that when we cover them, they're not gonna stick. Because you just work really hard shaping these, and then if you put like some saran wrap or a towel on them and they stick and it just peels, it's super frustrating. I typically use just some press and seal. I don't love that, just being honest. I don't like using plastics that are just gonna be thrown away, but this is what I have found to do the best. I've done a tea towel, and every time I've tried it, it sticks to the dough. And it just makes your life a little bit harder to have to redo the dough. We're gonna let this bench rest for 20 minutes. We're gonna come back and we're gonna tighten up the dough, and then we're good. You can bake it right away, or you can even let this sit on the counter. If you want super sour, you could just put it back in the fridge overnight again. Typically, we're doing this on Friday, and so once we do that second tightening, we're ready to go. The fire's rolling. Alrighty, it's been 20 minutes. I was able to get a couple of things done. I'm gonna come through and I'm gonna re-tighten these, probably oil them just a little bit more. Just like that, just kind of spin it around, re-tighten them just a bit. There we go. All right, I'm gonna let this sit. We are not gonna make this for another couple of hours. So these are gonna puff up really nice. I'm gonna go get some evening chores done. Gonna go get cleaned up and come back. We're gonna have us a pizza party.
Party, pizza party.
It's Friday night. That's pizza night at our house. It is movie night at our house. And we are in officially 90-degree weather. So we're not doing this inside. We're gonna start a fire. We're going to cook sourdough pizza on it, and you're going to have your minds blown by how good this is when you make it yourself.
It is the coolest thing we do.
It is the coolest thing we do. First thing is that we gotta get this fire started, and we've done this
Well,
poorly in the past.
I'm very lazy about this. I use fire starter. Yes, we can use flint and do the whole survival thing. That's not
Why
what
would we ever?
I know, but we'd also
is not
need
lazy.
a better.
We're literally cooking
I know. I hear you.
homemade, long fermented
I hear you.
sourdough pizza.
I hear you.
I don't think the word lazy is possible to use, but this is kind of fun. I have kids that love tradition. So, for example, this is a real life story. I have one child who was like, remember that time we made brownies on Thursday? Thursday is our brownie day. This is our tradition. Or remember when we went a walk on a rainy morning? Now on rainy mornings, our tradition is to go on walks. We would go get Costco pizza because in my opinion, out of commercial pizzas, Costco is the absolute best pizza you can get. And in the streaming days, streaming didn't even exist at this time. We used to get Netflix delivered to our house on DVD. That was to my child what I think probably Blockbuster was to my generation. I want to spend my time as a mom making not just memories with them, but like establishing these anchors that they want to come back to when they're older. So I want them to remember sourdough pizza on Friday nights. I want them to remember that mom grew stuff in the garden, and maybe you don't remember the names of the plants that she taught you, but you remember being in the garden with your mom. When you smell certain smells, they remind you of their mom. Like when you think of certain things, they remind you of your home. So that when they're old and they want those memories, when they want those moments, they want to come back home. So it's 100% my flat out intention, and I tell them all the time, like, I want you to want to come back here. So that part is on me. Now they're old enough to have friends, and I am telling you, their friends want to come over. When you make really good pizza, your kids' friends are gonna want to spend Friday nights. I hope we are 85-year-olds making Friday night pizza. Ooh, pretty. That's right. Just give it a little blow right there. Just blow gently on that fire, babe.
Are you flirting with me?
Obviously. I don't even think you need to ask at this time.
Oh.
Is this hot? Is it hot when I'm swatting away bugs from my face? There is a story with everything. Like if you've been here a minute, you know that I'm gonna share a story while we're doing a thing. Bo's working in that Ooni Oven, and the funny, we laugh about the Ooni Oven because the reality is I have the best things in life. I have, amongst many other things, a fantastic mother-in-law who is an extraordinary cook. Like she always makes delicious, delicious food. One thing about my mother-in-law is that she is going to be an early adopter. She is going to get the things when she sees them, and even if she has an idea about a thing, like a kitchen gadget that might exist, she's gonna go get it. And then, in her extreme generosity, she often shares that with me when she gets bored and wants to go get a new thing. So, she's at our house, I'm out of town, she's talking with Bo about how much we love our Friday night pizzas. She is saying that she's got this pizza oven, the Ooni pizza oven. No, don't show it yet. The Ooni pizza oven. And we're like, oh my gosh, you have an Ooni? This is so cool. And she's like, I never use it. Do you want me to bring it to you? Of course, the answer is yes, of course. Well, I don't want to take it from her if we're going to use it. And she's insisting, no, we don't use it enough. You guys would use this all the time. Your kids would love it. The Ooni is O-O-N-I, I think. And it's like the way you'd expect it to be spelled. The pizza oven arrives and we're like, this thing is really cool. This is so much fun. And then we're looking at it and we're like, oh, I didn't realize it was spelled that way.
Like how old is this? Because it doesn't look like the other models that I've seen on YouTube, the reviews. And I'm thinking, oh.
Yeah, let's get involved with this company. That sounds so cool.
And I realized, oh no, it is not Ooni.
Ooni.
Ooni. The thing is, it makes awesome pizza, so good. This thing heats up. It gets to like 600 or 700 degrees.
It's completely unsponsored, but honestly, the real big win for us is that this week it's about to be 90 degrees plus for the next 10 days. And the likelihood of it going down below 90 degrees until September is really low. So we get to keep going on our Friday night pizza. We usually wind up delaying it in the summer because it's just like, it's too much heat. We have to heat up the oven to 500 degrees. We have to leave it there for like an hour because we're cooking 3+ pizzas at about 12 minutes a piece. So we're gonna show you all of our pizza secrets. And you might not have a pizza oven, but I promise you, you can make these in your oven, in your house. We've done it for years. Yeah. This is just a fun perk.
This has only been going on for the last month.
And it's still something we're figuring out, like the turning of the pizza and how to get it the right temperature. The capability of being a propane oven, so you like screw in like a camper propane tank, or...
I think it can, I don't know.
Or
I don't know if this one. I know the
Ooni
the
can.
correct
the
Ooni.
Ooni can, but we don't know if the Ooni can. The Ooni oven. It's like buying a Lego instead of a Lego. It's like buying Dr. Thunder from Walmart instead of Dr. Pepper.
Put down in the comment, what is your favorite off-brand
product? that you're like, I was ashamed to say this until Bo and Kelly shared their Ooni Oven, but now let us be proud off-brand cheerleaders.
I'm so excited about pizza.
We're just putting the pizza out on like a floured surface. Some people don't love to do that when they make sourdough. You could use a cornmeal or an einkorn, whatever you want. This is just to get you switching some of your like, hey, I always outsource pizza, and you can still get Domino's if you want. But I'm telling you, you're not gonna want it after you have this pizza. So we roll it out, and because we're using the pizza oven, we're gonna put this into PARBAKE. But when we're cooking this in the regular oven,
What'd you say?
PARBAKE.
That's what it's called when we do this.
That's what it's called, baby.
I just say pre-cook. It's called PARBAKE.
Or if you're from Texas, maybe you pre-cook this. PARBAKE just means we're cooking this pizza shell part of the way. I'm sure that's not what par is for, but we're cooking it part of the way. So depending on the weather, if you're sourdoughing, you know it's depending on the weather. Depending on the weather, your sourdough might be more or less stretchy. We're gonna take this kind of like, this fits the size of our pizza oven. You can stretch this out as big as you want. Maybe you like it really thin and crispy. You can even stuff crust with this dough. Like, you can do whatever you want. It's just pizza dough, and you get to decide how you like it. So we're shaping it to the size of this paddle, and then we put it into the pizza oven to cook once, kind of part the way through. And then we bring it back out, and we'll add all the toppings. Our family just likes pepperoni and cheese, so we're gonna do that tonight. While Bo puts that in the oven, I'm gonna shred cheese because I like to buy it in a block and make my life easier. Otherwise, I'm making cheese, which I've done before and is absolutely delicious. But we want recipes that are accessible, so you do not have to have a milk cow. Make your own mozzarella cheese to enjoy a fantastic homemade pizza. This is why I wear an apron, because I'm always doing this, especially on pizza night. So I'm just gonna do this and not worry about it because I'm gonna wash this later. I think that Friday night pizza night was a thing that like probably got really popular once you could have pizza delivered. I think my parents did a lot of frugal things that I didn't know they were doing for a frugal reason. I was one of 4. My oldest sister is 11 years older than me, and she is 13 years older than my younger brother. I have 2 older sisters and then a younger brother who's 2 years younger than me. And I remember Friday nights, pizza being like Little Caesars, and we would go, not like 2000s Little Caesars, y'all. I'm 40 years old. So this was like when Little Caesars was new, and that like idea of hot and ready pizza had to have been so appealing to a mother who has mothered all week. When your mother has mothered all week, and my mom would have been to like tons of military functions in any given week, my dad might have been in town. The girls are playing in a box. He might have been in the country. He might not have been. So depending on what week it was, I remember.
Oh, you like acting in a car? Is it that like the third one?
No, this is the same one. We just have to use it. Every little kitchen gadget might have a little thing you're doing uniquely to make it work. But depending on what week it was, I remember Friday night pizza being this like special, amazing thing. And if you were real fancy and you had that like Domino's or the pizza delivered, now I realize, not necessarily the way we're doing it. But the reason we had pizza on Friday nights delivered to the house was most likely that my mom was tired. She was probably tired of the whole week running us to all our events and all of our practices. All right. Oh, here we go. Pizza is in.
PARBAKE.
This is that PARBAKE. It's like we just want to cook the shell because when we put it back in, and it might be us like figuring out how the pizza oven works, but when we put it back into the oven, it's a soft, raw pizza shell or pizza crust going into that pizza oven outside.
You can't like slide it off.
It's just like too messy, and it could be our ingredients, but we're pretty simple. So we're gonna dress this baby up. I think the best thing about pizza is that you just know what you like. And we like this sauce, and we use it on literally everything. We use this sauce on pasta, like just spaghetti. We use this sauce on a fancier dish that has more steps to it, like adding in cheese and like a cheese mix in the middle. Oh, that everyday bread spread that we use. We put it with this pasta sauce. We use it for everything. And sometimes the downfall is like it's a little bit more wet because it's a marinara sauce, or it has like a chunk of tomato in it. But if you have a pizza sauce that you like, go for it and use it. If you don't have one you like, there's so many different recipes to make something that really just suits your family best. So we're gonna top this up with sauce and cheese, and then we're gonna add pepperonis, and one day I'm gonna convince my kids to try like exciting flavors. Like we were just talking about a fig and prosciutto, which Bo would be like, that sounds terrible as pizza. Bo was the kind of kid who, like, if he didn't want dinner, his dad's like, here's $20, go order a pizza. So maybe he didn't have the magical Friday night that I did when I was younger, because family of 4, parents were not trying to go buy pizza all the time. We were not running through a drive-thru when I grew up. So like pizza on Friday night, I can't even express to you. This was the pinnacle of the week. This was the thing that you would look forward to starting Sunday afternoon when you knew you were going to go back to school. Friday night was waiting for you. Pepperonis. I was just going to say, I like a big fat pepperoni. All right, into the oven this is gonna go, and then we're just gonna do the same cycle through all of the next 3 pizzas.
You were supposed to video me.
I don't know why. It is wide.
Fantastic.
So good. That pizza, babe.
That was
not even
that
like
was one of the best.
I'm
And
drinking.
I thought that it was like gonna be too burnt, but are you trash talking?
No.
Just don't do that.
Everything looks so good. I'm so amazing at this job. Everybody's coming to dinner. Everybody's coming to dinner, but nobody here is dinner just yet. I don't know that we could ever eat these ducks.
No, not now.
They're so cute. We love them so much.
I hope they lay eggs. Like, look at that. That is so awesome.
And then there's a rabbit over there. The rabbit and the chicken. Like, what is happening right now?
Life in the country, baby.
This is very extra, this moment.
Yes, it is.
The fact that we're cooking outside in a pizza oven.
So the funniest thing about the Ooni is that the large number temperatures are in
Stop.
Celsius. Not in Fahrenheit.
There's just so many like yellow flags along the way.
When my dad was here, I was like, this is not right. The fine print is in Fahrenheit.
So somebody tell us where the Ooni is from.
So right now it's running at pretty much right at 482 Fahrenheit, but the big number, just so you know, is 250 Celsius.
I will never get over this pizza. Holy guacamole.
Nice.
I can't even give a good review because my mouth was just full. It's so good.
Not guacamole. We did it.
We did it, babe. We did it.
Might have burnt 2 of them, but it's okay.
But then 2 of them were not burnt. So 50-50, guys.
The last one. Usually we would like
Cheers.
to end a video with us eating together as a family. We have eaten 3 full pizzas while making 4 pizzas and this video. So, it's all gone. I hope you enjoyed it. It was yummy.
Happy weekend.